So, you want to be a digital nomad, eh? Well, great. There's lots of things that you can do as a digital nomad, travel the world. Technology really makes it all possible. And it's something that couldn't have been done 20, 30 years ago. And there's no doubting that the lifestyle can be appealing. All you need is a laptop and your toothbrush, and you're good to go. But just like everything in life, there are pros and cons to wandering the world. Let's take a look at the pros. Well, I suppose the biggest pro is the freedom. You can go where you want, when you want, and you can work from anywhere. As long as you've got Wi-Fi, you're fine. And you can spend time with anyone you wish. And it's awesome to visit countries and stay longer than just a vacation. And you can do lots of in-depth travel, and you can visit out-of-the-way places, and you can really experience what life is like in another country, and that can really expand your mind. And you can set your own work agenda. When you're a digital nomad, you can work when you like, from wherever you like. You don't have to put up with a bullying boss or moaning co-workers. As long as you've got Wi-Fi, you're good to go. And there's no more commuting. All the travel you're doing now is for pleasure and not a chore. And, of course, you learn to be less materialistic because everything you need fits into your rucksack. You get to visit lots of new, different and exciting places, and these are places that most people only dream about. And every day is different. There's no routine. You're not tied to a desk or a cubicle in an office. Every day is different. Everywhere is new and exciting because you're seeing things for the first time. And of course, your horizons expand and you get a greater outlook on the world because you become exposed to things that other people in your town, in your family, your friends, well, they just simply don't know about because they've never experienced it. So you become a much wiser person as a result. And you get increased self-awareness and self-development. Because you have to adapt to different environments and people, you're constantly growing and evolving as a person. And challenging yourself to live without the comforts of a home base, a regular paycheck, and familiar people and surroundings opens up a greater awareness of self because your backdrops and your relationships keep changing, so you become a much stronger person emotionally. And you learn new skills, and you can take what you've learned on the road and apply it to your daily life when or if you get settled again. Lots of people stay on the road all the time. And sometimes you find that they do things better in other countries than they do in the country that you're from. So you can take this knowledge and you can apply it to your life when you get back home, and you can enrich your own life and those of others around you through that experience. You also get to meet lots of new people, experience different cultures, learn different languages, eat different food, and generally do stuff that you would never have dreamt of doing before. But of course, there are some cons to this sort of lifestyle. There is a downside to it all. And the biggest one is loneliness. Being totally self-reliant can be tough. Human beings are social animals, and not having anyone else to talk to be supportive, someone you can trust or you can bounce ideas off of, can take its toll after a while. And of course, feeling homesick is another thing that happens when you're away a lot. You miss the familiar after a while, and you're separated from family and friends and from your support network. And of course, you may worry about people back home, particularly if you've got sick or elderly relatives. People might be in the hospital and you're told they're in hospital and you worry about them and so on. So that can be a big downside if your heart is on one side of the world, but your body is on the other, if you get what I mean. And of course, there's going to be things going on back home that you're not a part of, Things like birthdays, weddings, anniversaries, and of course there are other would-be shared experiences that you're going to be missing out on. Lots of things that your friends and family are doing, but you're not included, and there'll be memories that they have, which are perhaps quite important to them, that you won't be a part of, and you might feel a bit left out of the whole proceedings. And all this can lead to stress, anxiety, and depression, and that is very common amongst people who are digital nomads. And of course, the world can be a scary place, especially when you're off the beaten track. And you never quite know who you can trust or where you'll be 100% safe. Of course, you can be at the mercy of events, things like bad weather, wars, strikes, banks freezing your account, or even not having Wi-Fi that works can wreck your plans. So, being a digital nomad can be a fantastic lifestyle. But you need to think long and hard before embarking on it and make certain it's for you. Living the life of a digital nomad has its attractions. But before you embark on it, you really do need to separate the myths from the realities. And we're going to talk about that in this video. Now let me just sort of set the scene here. You've downloaded the 4-hour work week to your Kindle, and now you want to live the unfettered freelance lifestyle while traveling the world. Correct? Well, let's look at some of the myths. First of all, the myth is you can work when you like, from wherever you like. Well, the reality is somewhat different, and because you never know where or when your next paycheck's going to come from, you tend to take on as much work as you can when it's on offer because you think that, well, you might not get any more. So, never mind the 4-hour work week, sometimes it feels like a 100-hour work week. And then in between, of course, it's the 0-hour work week, but not because you want to, it's just because you simply don't have any work to do. There's another myth. Traveling is fun. And the reality? Well, yes, it is, to begin with. But just like with everything else, after a while, it becomes a grind. Every airport, every ferry terminal, and every train station gets to look the same after a while. And you've got all the endless security to put up with, you've got all the endless traveling, you've got the different languages, different currencies, and after a while it just gets to be a real grind. Now, there's another myth. You can get by on much less money. Well, that's true because the reality is you have much less money. But that said, you don't have as many overheads or things to spend money on anyway, so the fact that you don't have quite so much money isn't really a big deal. Another myth, wherever you hang your hat is your home. Well, the reality is somewhat different. If everywhere is home, then nowhere is. And I know that sounds kind of strange, but there's a risk that the place where you grew up or where you went to school or where you settled after you finished college will become a foreign place to you as well, because it's going to change, as will you. But quite often changes are subtle, but to you the changes will be more noticeable, and you'll find it harder to settle back in should you want to return. And for some people, this is appealing. They want to distance themselves from the past and go away and reinvent themselves. Others, though, find losing this connection difficult. Another myth is you'll visit some interesting places and you'll meet lots of new people. In reality, well, this can certainly be true, but it's not all tropical islands out there, and you'll find some places look a lot different to how the tourist board would like you to believe. So you might find somewhere and you see, oh wow, it looks really nice, really interesting. But after you get away from the main streets and into the back streets, they're all kind of grotty and sort of places that backpackers stay are a bit run down. And of course, it's hard to form lasting friendships or relationships as you're never in one place for very long. And finally, another myth. If you're thinking about it, but you don't do it, you'll regret it for the rest of your life. And the reality, well, that's true. If you don't do it, especially if you don't do it while you're young or if you're in good health, then you may well regret it later on. And bear in mind, you can always practice by saving up all of your vacation time and or taking a leave of absence from your job and then going away for a couple of months to see how you take to the lifestyle before you take the plunge for real. But it can be very rewarding. Too often, when people decide to live a digital nomad lifestyle, they decide to just simply wing it and go off on a whim. And they think that's all part of the spontaneity of the lifestyle. But there are some things that sometimes digital nomads don't consider. And I'm going to cover the top 6 things in this video. And the first one is having enough insurance. And this is very important, particularly having enough health insurance. Because if you get sick or you have an accident, you'll need to get proper treatment, and that can be expensive. And if you're traveling, you're not just a tourist, then ordinary tourist health insurance may not cover you. So you need to make sure that you are covered for an extended trip. And if you're from a country where healthcare is provided by the government and funded through taxes, like the UK or Canada or something like that, then you may not have needed to consider this before because you just simply take it for granted. You also have to bear in mind that hospitals in some countries may not be up to the standard of those in your home country. And this is particularly true if you're visiting some of the developing countries out there. And so you do need to make sure that any insurance that you have will enable you to be either brought back home or brought to another country where they do have an advanced healthcare system, where they do have good hospitals where you can get the proper treatment. Something else you need to bear in mind if you're from the UK is that UK nationals will lose their right to free treatment on the National Health Service if they're out of the country for a certain length of time. So you may need to also take out private medical insurance to cover you when you get back home as well. So that's something that not a lot of people consider until it's too late. You'll need other types of insurance too. For example, you're going to need car insurance if you're going to be driving. And if you don't have a fixed address, then obtaining this can be very difficult. You're also going to need insurance for your possessions. If your laptop gets lost or stolen, then you could be out of business. You're also going to need insurance to cover you against things like cancelled flights or missed ferries or lost bookings and that sort of thing, especially where you've had to pay up front for these and then they're cancelled and the tour company or the hotel owner just simply shrugs his shoulders and says, oh, well, too bad. Then you might have to take out insurance to cover you against that. Banking can also be difficult when you're traveling, and this is something else that digital nomads often don't take into consideration. You can do all your banking over the internet for sure, but you need to tell your bank where you're going in advance, or they might assume something is fraudulent. If all of a sudden you're from America, but someone's using your card in France, then they might think that perhaps a hacker has stolen your details or something like that, and they'll freeze your account. And then you've got to go through all the steps to get it unfrozen. In the meantime, you haven't got any money. So you do need to take that into consideration. Also, if you're going to use PayPal, PayPal have a habit of freezing or limiting accounts when they're accessed from a different country. So that can be problematic. And if you've ever tried to get in touch with PayPal, you know that they don't make it particularly easy. So you do have to take that into consideration as well. And you also need to bear in mind that PayPal doesn't operate in every country anyway, so you might not be able to pay for things with PayPal in some countries. Now, while the US dollar is the world's reserve currency, and it's usually easy to convert it into other currencies, some countries have foreign exchange controls or currency restrictions. And this could mean a limit on the amount of dollars that you can exchange for their currency, or a limit on their currency that you're allowed to change back into dollars when you leave. And in some countries, they won't even let you take the banknotes out of the country. So you can literally lose money because they won't let you take it with you. So you do have to take that into consideration and make sure that you're going to have enough money in a local currency for the duration of your stay. Now, in the Eurozone, the same currency, the euro, is accepted in more than one country. So if you're going from, say, Ireland to France to Italy, you can use the same currency in all of those different countries. Something else that you need to bear in mind are visas. And when I say visas, I don't mean the credit card type visa. Some countries have a visa waiver or an e-visa program with other countries so that you don't have to apply for a visa in advance. You just simply fill in some details on a website and pay an admin fee. Some countries will issue you a visa on arrival. And other countries don't require a visa at all, just your passport. And this depends, of course, on what arrangement the government of your country has with the country that you intend to visit. However, many countries require you to apply for a visa before you travel. And you may have to visit the country's embassy to apply in person and or attend an interview before a visa is granted. And you have to get there at your own expense. And don't take it personally, but some countries won't let you in if you're from or have previously traveled to a country that they're not on good terms with. So, for example, lots of Arab countries won't let you go to their country if you visited Israel, for example. And are you working or just visiting? Will you need a working visa or a tourist one? Does updating your blog count as work? Well, depends. Some countries will say it does. Some countries will say it doesn't. And then there's tax. Benjamin Franklin said only two things in life that are certain are death and taxes. And even if you're not in your home country, that doesn't necessarily mean that you won't have to pay tax there. So will you need to pay tax in your home country, the one you're staying in, or both? Now, some countries you're regarded as a resident in that country if you're there for more than a certain number of days, and you may be required to pay their income tax on your worldwide income. It really is quite a minefield out there because every country is different. So it's a good idea to get professional advice before you leave your home country to see exactly what your tax position is going to be. Then, of course, different countries have different systems. For example, you couldn't get this electrical plug into this socket, or this plug into this socket. And of course, there are different voltages. In North America, it's generally 110 volts, but in Europe, it's generally 220 volts. And of course, light switches are different. In some countries, it's up for on and down for off. And in others, it's the opposite. And of course, countries drive on different sides of the road. In the US and continental Europe, people drive on the right and cars have the steering wheel on the left. And in countries like the UK and Australia and Indonesia, it's the other way around. People drive on the left and the steering wheel is on the right. And even if you're not driving a car, this can be a big deal. If you're riding a bicycle, you need to make sure you stay on the correct side. Also, even remembering to look in the right way when you're crossing the street, that is something you need to take into consideration. And finally, there are different languages spoken all around the world. Believe it or not everybody in the world speaks English. Now, in some countries, it's widely spoken as a second language, and this is particularly true in cities with a relatively young population. But in the countryside or off the beaten track, it's a different matter. And of course, some countries use a completely different alphabet, so there's no reference at all. I mean, for example, if you look at this street scene here in Japan, everything's in Japanese. So unless you happen to understand Japanese, you're not going to have a clue. So if you're going to be spending a long time in a part of the world where you know that a particular language is widely spoken, it might be a good idea to get some basic tuition before you go there. Brush up on your Spanish if you're going to Latin America, for example. So there you go, 6 things that most nomads don't consider, but you should do before you start embarking on this type of lifestyle. The most common way that digital nomads earn money while they're away is by working freelance. And working freelance is great. You can get all your work over the internet, you set your own hours, and all you really need is a laptop and Wi-Fi, and you can simply do the job whenever you get the opportunity or whenever you have a moment, or you can perhaps set time aside to do it. It's up to you. It's a completely free type of lifestyle. So let's take a look at the sort of freelance work that you can do from anywhere. And the first one, and I suppose the most common type of freelance work, is freelance writing. And you can do freelance article writing, freelance copywriting, freelance screenwriting. You can do ebook writing, and you can do transcriptions. People can send you something over the internet as an MP3, and you can listen to it and type it up and send it back. And you can do all this pretty much anywhere. All you need is a quiet corner of a coffee shop or somewhere like that. Something else that you can do freelance from anywhere is web design. So you can do web design in WordPress, you can design WordPress themes if you have the software, you can do PHP or HTML. Again, all you need is your laptop and a means to communicate with your customer. Then you can do coding, and lots of people do coding. You can do website coding, you can do apps, you can do software development, and this is actually one of the most common things that people can do because it's all done on your computer, and you can simply send it over the internet to your customer. Then there are graphics, and provided that your laptop is powerful enough, of course, and has the right sort of graphics card in it, you can do things like web graphics, video graphics, and you can do either 2D or 3D animation for videos from your laptop. Photoshop, of course, is something that you can do very easily from your laptop. Also, print graphics and things like logos and those sort of things. And you can do videos. You can make a slideshow video like this one from your laptop. All you need is to have the right software. And if you're traveling, well, you can do travel videos for customers, travel videos that you can then sell yourself. You can shoot stock footage. Sometimes if somebody is making a video and they need to get a particular shot of where you happen to be, then it's cheaper for them to hire you to go out and film it rather than for them to send a whole film crew out there to cover it. So you can do that, and you can sell stock footage to stock footage libraries as well, who will then sell it on to other producers. And of course, if you're going to be in one place for a particular length of time, you can shoot news footage. If something happens, if there's an event, particularly an unplanned one like a fire or an earthquake or something like that, you can film that and send it on to news organizations who can pay quite handsomely for that. Or you could also be what's known as a stringer, which is someone who happens to have a deal with a news organization that if something happens where they happen to be, then they will video it and send it to that particular news organization. Then you can do translations, of course. And there's several ways you can do this. You can do translations over the internet, where people will send you things to be translated. Or you can do translation locally if you're going to be in one place for long enough and you've got contacts and connections in the town or city or country where you're staying, and you speak the local language. You can translate from the local language into English and vice versa. And this can be either written or oral translation. Now, there are a few different sites where you can look for freelance work. And the first one is Upwork, which you can find here at upwork.com. And it explains how it works here when you click on this link. You can also go to Freelancer, which is freelancer.com, and both of them work on a similar principle. Somebody posts a job that they want filled, and you bid against other freelancers for it, and the person who's commissioning the job would decide who they want to do the job for them, and the website takes a cut of the fee. If what you're doing is anything to do with marketing or copywriting or web design or that sort of thing, it's a good idea to take out an ad on the Warriors for Hire section of the Warrior Forum. As you can see, they've got lots of people here advertising things like marketing and professional copywriting and that sort of thing. And you can advertise your services here. And on this site, and I think you do actually have to be a paid member to place an ad in the Warriors for Hire section. And on this site, you basically advertise your services and the buyers come to you rather than you having to bid on a job that other people are competing against. So just a few ways that you can find freelance work while you're on the road. A great way for digital nomads to make money is via a blog. Now, for the uninitiated out there, what is a blog? Well, Wikipedia defines it like this. A blog, a truncation of the expression weblog, is a discussion or informational website published on the World Wide Web consisting of discrete, often informal, diary-style text entries known as posts. Posts are typically displayed in reverse chronological order so that the most recent post appears first at the top of the web page. Many blogs provide commentary on a particular subject or topic, ranging from politics to sports. Others function as more personal online diaries, and others function more as online brand advertising of a particular individual or company. A typical blog combines text, digital images, and links to other blogs, web pages, and other media related to its topic. Most blogs are primarily textual, although some focus on art, otherwise known as art blogs, photographs, photoblogs, videos, video blogs or vlogs, music, MP3 blogs, and audio, known as podcast. Now, the most popular platform for blogs these days is WordPress. And WordPress is a free, open source blogging platform, and there are several ways that you can access it. You can download the software from wordpress.org. Be sure to go to wordpress.org rather than wordpress.com. I'll explain why in a moment. And then you can download the software and then upload it to your web server and follow the on-screen instructions. It's actually quite straightforward. Or with most web hosting accounts, you can actually install it from within cPanel. If I just scroll down here a bit, you'll see that this particular hosting package has Softalicious Apps Installer, and you can install WordPress and just simply follow the on-screen instructions. It'll install it very, very easily. Or if you want WordPress to host your blog for you on their server, then you can come here to wordpress.com and simply click here on Get Started. Now, if you're going to monetize your blog, it's probably best to host it on your own hosting, and you can use your own domain name and so on. WordPress does tend to take a rather dim view of commercial blogs hosted on their servers. Regardless of how you do it, once you've got it installed, it'll look a bit like this, and you can click here on Post and then add a new post and start updating your blog. Now, of course, having a blog is one thing, making money from it is something else. So let's look at some of the different ways that you can monetize your blog. And the first way is via Google AdSense. Now, Google AdSense is a bit like Google AdWords, the small ads that appear down the side of the search engine results pages in Google. But with Google AdSense, advertisers pay you to put their ad on your blog. So every time someone clicks on an ad, you get paid. You don't get paid very much, but it is a truly passive income. All you have to do is provide relevant content and drive the traffic, and Google will take care of the rest. And to find out more, go to google.com/AdSense, and you'll be redirected to this page where you can sign up and also read more about how AdSense works. Now, there are other sources of advertising as well. One is banner ads. Now, these aren't as popular as they used to be, but they're still worth considering. And basically, with a banner ad, somebody will pay you to put their banner on your blog, advertising their product. And payment can be either a set amount, or it can be so many times that it's displayed, or it can be however many times it's clicked through. And you can actually have banner ads under the AdSense program as well. Another way is to do paid reviews. This is where somebody will pay you to do a review of their product or service, and then you post that review on your blog, and then there's a link at the bottom where people can go and buy the product or service from the vendor. Or you can sell your own classified ad type advertising. You do need to make sure that you're getting a lot of traffic in order for this to really be viable. Another way that you can monetize your blog is by selling affiliate products. And this is, I suspect, the most popular form of monetization for blogs. Basically, you send traffic from your blog to a merchant's website. The customer will then buy the product and you get paid a commission. And this can be as much as 100% on some digital products. The easiest way to make affiliate sales is to write a product review, where you write about the product and then you include a special affiliate link at the end of your review where people can go and buy that product, and of course you'll get the commission. And it's a good idea if you purchase the product yourself first so that you can give an honest, fair review. And this adds weight and credibility to your review. And when you do this, after a while, you'll come to be regarded as an expert in the field, and people will take your reviews seriously, and they'll seek out your blog to read your reviews before they actually buy a product. And finally, there's the Amazon widget. Now, these are devices that enable you to sell products from Amazon right from your blog. And as you can see, there are a number of different Amazon widgets. You've got the deals widget, search button. There's the carousel widget, which has a number of different products being advertised at any one time. There's a slideshow. There's a whole lot of different stuff here. And once you're signed up for Amazon Associates, you can build these very easily and get the commission every time. So there you go, just a few ways that you can monetize your blog to get extra income from it. A good way to make money as a digital nomad is through affiliate marketing. And I'm going to give you the basics in this video. The way that affiliate marketing works is like this. First of all, you drive traffic to your website where customers can click a special affiliate link which takes them to the merchant's website. The sales page on the merchant's website does all the selling. The customer buys. The commission is deducted by the payment processor and paid to you, and this can be either instantly or after a period of time has elapsed, depending on which affiliate network you're with. And then you basically rinse and repeat the whole process. Now, this is what a typical affiliate link looks like. This is one for ClickBank. And you can see there's lots of code. And what this does is it works with a cookie that is placed on the visitor's computer. And the two of these tie together to make sure that the software back at ClickBank, or whichever affiliate network you're with, knows that this particular visitor has come via your link and that you get the commission. So if they come via somebody else's link after they've been by yours, or if they go straight to the site again, you're still going to get the commission. So it's very important that you make sure that your affiliate links are copied and pasted accurately, otherwise you could lose your commission. Now, there's lots of different ways that you can promote affiliate products. Probably the easiest way is via your blog, and you can do this either via product reviews, and it's a good idea if you've actually bought the product yourself before you do a review, because then you can do an honest and accurate one, or by articles on your blog where you perhaps highlight certain passages of text that relate to the item that you're promoting, so people can then click on that link and go to the affiliate site. Or you can promote them to your mailing list, and this is a very good way of ensuring that people find out about the affiliate products you're promoting. And you can do that via articles, or you can do that via solo ads, where you simply send an ad to your list, or you can send an ad to somebody else's list and pay them. It works both ways. Now let's just take a look at some popular affiliate sites. And the first one is Amazon Associates. And with Amazon Associates, you can sell items from Amazon's website. The rate of commission varies, as you can see here on the slideshow that's going through at the moment. And basically, you can have all sorts of different widgets and different banners. They make it very easy for you to sell via Amazon. And you can find out more at affiliate-program.amazon.com. And there are also regional variations. So, for example, there's a UK version, and you've got Germany and France, Brazil, Mexico, etc. And there's ClickBank, which you can find out about at clickbank.com. And ClickBank is probably the longest standing affiliate program out there. Originally, it was just for downloadable digital products like ebooks, but now you can sell all sorts of other stuff via ClickBank. And the rate of commission does vary, and it can be actually as high as 90% on some of the digital products. And you can find out more and sign up at clickbank.com. Then there's CJ Affiliate by Conversant. This used to be called Commission Junction. And it works slightly differently from the last two insofar as CJ Affiliate coordinates affiliate programs for lots of offline companies or offline companies that have their own online websites for sales. And it's a two-step process, really, when you sign up with CJ. You have to sign up and be accepted by CJ. Then you have to be approved by each individual site that you want to sell through. So it is a two-step process. And the rates of commission do vary because they are set by the individual companies. And you can read more at cj.com. And finally, there's JVZoo. Now, JVZoo is great because it works in conjunction with your PayPal account, and you can actually get instant commissions on stuff that you can sell via JVZoo, and the commissions can be up to 100% on some of the digital products. So it's well worth looking at JVZoo, and it's very easy to sign up as well. Just simply come to jvzoo.com, click here where it says sign up, and then you simply register here. It's all very simple, except the terms of use and affiliate agreement and the PayPal terms of use. Click on register and you can start selling within a few minutes. In this video, I'm going to talk you through 5 tools that every digital nomad needs. And the first one is a decent quality laptop. Now, this will be the most important tool in your toolbox, so don't skimp on this. And it's a good idea to stick with a well-known brand, as this will make it easier to get it repaired if it breaks, which does happen sometimes. Now, your laptop computer needs to be robust. It needs to be lightweight and portable because, after all, you're going to be carrying it around all the time. It needs to have a long battery life because you might not be able to plug it in, especially if you're traveling. It needs to have good storage or hard drive space. And this is very important because you may need to store everything on your computer for long periods of time because you might not be able to rely on Wi-Fi everywhere. So you do need to make sure that you've got that capacity on hand. Mac, Windows, or Linux/Chromebook? Well, that's up to you. And it depends a lot on your personal preference and what you intend to use it for. Macs are more sophisticated and better for graphics, but they're also more expensive. Windows laptops have more variety and there's more software available, especially now Windows 10 has come out. And Chromebooks are cheaper, but they're of limited use. But if you're going to be doing lots of writing on the road and not a lot else, a Chromebook could suit you down to the ground. Now let's take a look at some good laptops that are recommended for nomads. Now I'm using Amazon.com for all this, but it's a good idea to shop around and find the best deal in your country or where you happen to live, because you might be able to find a very good deal out there. Okay, let's look at some of the computers here. If you're looking for just a basic Chromebook, then something like the Acer is very good. As you can see, it's quite reasonably priced, and it has quite a good Intel Celeron quad-core processor, and it's nice and light. And if all you're going to do is word processing and checking your emails and maybe watching the old video, then this is perfect for that particular purpose. You want to go up a bit more, then the Microsoft Surface Pro 4 is probably a very good thing to get. As you can see, it's got an i5 processor, 4 gigabytes of RAM, and 128 gigabyte hard drive. And you can see it is actually a bit more expensive, but again, very good value when you consider exactly what it is that you're getting. If you need to do some fairly heavy duty works on the road, then a proper, as I call it, a proper laptop is probably the best thing to get. Something like the Apple MacBook Air or the Dell Inspiron 7000 series. All work very well, and they're all quite robust and can handle all sorts of stuff, from writing to graphics to video editing and that sort of stuff. You'll also need a good smartphone. And the reason for that is there are many apps that can make life easier on the road. Now, when you're choosing a smartphone, you want to make sure that it gets at least 3G. Now, 3G is fairly widespread throughout the world, but 4G and 5G are fairly limited to large towns and cities in fairly well-established countries. So what you should do is get one that does at least 3G, because then you'll be able to connect in more places. You also want to have one that's got Bluetooth so that you can connect your laptop to the internet when there's no Wi-Fi. Should you get a Windows, an iOS, or an Android smartphone? Well, again, it's up to you, and a lot of it comes down to personal preference and to budget. A good place to look for a smartphone is on eBay, and you can generally pick up a very good deal there, and it allows you to drill down and find the particular type of smartphone that you want. Now, when you do buy a smartphone, be sure to get one that's unlocked, and that means you're not tied to any particular network. And this can come in very handy if you're going to be in a country for any length of time. You can get a SIM-only deal or a pay-as-you-go SIM for making local calls and receiving local calls, and you can actually redirect your main number through to your new local number, and it can work out quite economical that way. You're also going to need a backup drive, and this is important that you have this and keep it separate from your laptop, because if your laptop breaks or gets lost or stolen, then you won't lose all your data. And you also want to back up programs as well, so it's a good idea to get one that's got a pretty decent storage capacity. Again, eBay is probably the best place to look for this piece of kit. Be sure to get one that you can power from the USB port. That way you don't have to worry about having the correct power transformer or that sort of thing. You might also want to consider cloud storage. Now, with cloud storage, your most important files can be kept completely separately from your laptop. And it's also easy to deliver work to clients that way, because you can simply give them the link on your cloud storage and they can download it at their leisure. There are a number of different cloud storage facilities out there. Probably the most popular one is Amazon S3, and you can find out more at aws.amazon.com/S3. It does come with a certain amount of free space, which is generally all right just for passing on docs or for backup storage. After that, you do have to pay, but the pricing is quite reasonable, and you can host it in different countries as well, depending on where you're traveling. So you can have it in Ireland or Australia or the US, so it is quite flexible in that way. Then we have the Microsoft Cloud, which you can find out about at cloud.microsoft.com. Again, both free and paid for versions of this. And this does sometimes come as an add-on with Microsoft Office 365. So if you have that, you might already have Microsoft Cloud. Then there's G Suite by Google Cloud. This is a paid-for service, but as you can see, the prices are very reasonable. And also there's Google Docs, which is good for sharing documents. So if you're writing, then you can simply upload it to Google Docs and share it with your client that way. And this particular service is free. And finally, you want to get some downloadable software or software that's accessible online. And again, if something happens to your laptop and you lose all the software as well, you don't have to carry around backup disks with you, you don't have to carry around the DVDs, and you can simply update the software all the time. And some popular choices are Microsoft Office 365, which you can read about at products.office.com, and the Adobe Creative Cloud, which you can find out more about at adobe.com. Now, these are both paid-for solutions, and they require internet connectivity to work properly. So you might also want to get some open source Office software that you can download onto your laptop and use. Good ones to go for are Apache OpenOffice, which you can find here at openoffice.org, and its offshoot LibreOffice, which you can find here at libreoffice.org. And the great things about these is they are free, so you don't have to pay out for them. And of course, you can download the software from the internet, so you don't have to carry around any CDs or DVDs with the software on it. And I'll let you into a little secret. I'm actually using LibreOffice Impress to make the graphics for this video. So there you go, 5 tools that every digital nomad needs. In this video, I want to talk about drop shipping. And drop shipping enables you to sell physical products from anywhere. Now, normally, selling a physical product means you need to buy items in bulk from a wholesaler and then resell them on at a marked up price. You deduct any fulfillment costs and keep the difference, and that's called your profit margin. Now, the downside to this is you need a place to store your inventory, a method of shipping and delivery, a method of handling returns, and somewhere that returns can be sent back to. In other words, a permanent address. And this is not a business that you can take on the road very easily. There is a very flexible way of selling physical products, though, and it's called drop shipping. And drop shipping is similar to affiliate marketing. Basically, you sell other people's products from your website in return for a commission. They handle all the fulfillment and returns, and you handle all the marketing and order processing. And the main difference between affiliate marketing and drop shipping is the variety of products available. Now, affiliate marketing tends to deal mainly with digital products. So we're talking things like ebooks, videos, apps, software, and that sort of thing. But you can drop ship a much wider variety of products, though. We're talking things like tech, appliances, clothing, hobby stuff, auto parts and accessories. The list just goes on and on. In fact, just about every physical product that people want to buy, you can dropship. Plus, of course, you don't have to carry inventory, you don't need to have a massive warehouse, you don't have to arrange shipping, you don't have to worry about returns. Plus, you get to set the price that people pay, and you can compete against other dropshippers that way. So unlike with an affiliate product where you only have a fixed commission, with drop shipping you can set your own rate and decide your own profit. And you can even do what's known as white label drop shipping, where the manufacturer will put your name on the product. So as far as the customer is concerned, you made it. What's not to like? And the business model works a bit like this. the customer visits your online store and makes a purchase. You handle all of the advertising and the payment processing on your site. You then pass the order on to the wholesaler. Now, sometimes you'll pay the wholesaler with the order, and other times the wholesaler will invoice you. It depends. The wholesaler then sends the item onto the buyer and handles any returns. And as far as the buyer is concerned, they're dealing directly with you. The wholesaler or the drop shipper is a silent partner in the whole arrangement. Okay, so how do you go about finding drop shippers or companies that handle drop shipping? Well, there are a few different companies online that can help you out here. Probably the best known site for linking drop shippers and suppliers together is Alibaba, which you can find out more here at alibaba.com. And this is a great site because it has all sorts of different industries listed. And oftentimes you can order stuff directly from the manufacturers in China and elsewhere and get it sent out. And they continue to evolve the site, and it really is well worth a visit. Other than that, you can do a search in Google for whatever the niche is plus drop shippers. I'm using clothing for this demonstration, but it can be anything you like really. And then you'll find lots of different drop shippers in all sorts of different places that you can then liaise with directly. Now let's talk about how you go about selling your dropship products. There's a couple of ways that you can do this. You can either sell via your website or blog, or you can sell on sites like Amazon or eBay. If you're going to sell via your own website, then a good combination is WordPress and the WooCommerce plugin. And what this does is it basically converts your WordPress blog into an e-commerce platform. And it does actually have a setting for drop shipping. And you can find out more at the WooCommerce website, which is woocommerce.com. And there are free and paid for versions. You can actually install the free version from within WordPress itself. Just go to plugins, do a search for WooCommerce, and then you can simply click on the button to install it and follow the on-screen instructions. It's actually quite straightforward. Now, unlike selling affiliate products, you're not sending customers to somebody else's site to process the sale. And you can sell more than one dropshipper's goods in a single transaction. It all goes in the same shopping cart and gets checked out in a single payment, and you can do that on WooCommerce very easily. Another option is to sell on eBay, and lots of dropshippers sell on eBay. In fact, you'd be surprised at the number of items that are for sale on eBay that are actually being dropshipped. And a good way to find out is to see if the same product, the exact same product, keeps showing up under different listings with different prices but looks suspiciously the same. For example, I recently bought this toolkit. You can see here, 35-piece torque bit and e-socket set. And you can see it's there. And if I scroll down, you can see it's there. And it's there. And this looks suspiciously the same, but is in a different color packet. And so on. So I would hazard a guess that all of these are actually being drop shipped by these various different merchants. And the thing about selling on eBay is, of course, eBay handles all of the processing for you. All you've got to do is place the order with the drop shipper. Now, the great thing about running a drop shipping business is nobody need know that you're on the road. You can set up a mailing address to go on your site, and if you're young and still live at home, you could probably use your parents' address, and you can add a Skype in number to handle inquiries, so people can dial a local number. It's routed over the internet via Skype to your smartphone, and you can answer it just as if you were in the city that they think they're dialing. And of course, if you're selling via eBay or Amazon, all the communication, all the payment processing, etc., is all handled by the site anyway. So there's no real tie between you and the business. It's very, very fluid indeed. And you can keep running the business as a sideline or even as a full-time business if or when you become more settled. Or you can even get the business up and running before you leave and while you still have a steady income from your job. So it's a very, very flexible way of making money on the road. In this video, I want to talk you through getting a residual income while you're on the road, because there will be times when you're traveling and you're not able to do any freelance work, you're not able to do any drop shipping or anything like that. So you want to make sure that you do have some cash coming in. And of course, the more money you have coming in without you actually having to work for it, the more free time that you've got to spend enjoying life out traveling the world. Now, traditional forms of residual income come from investments, things like savings, stocks, bonds, certificates of deposit, otherwise known as CDs. But you do need to have a lot of money to invest in these schemes in order to get a decent return. And all around the world now, savings rates are at rock bottom. So the return on your investment isn't going to be particularly high if you do it this way. Of course, if you have a house, you can always rent it out while you're away. After all, you're not going to be living in it. But you do need to make sure that you're properly covered with things like insurances. You want to make sure that you have an agent, and of course they're going to charge fees to do all this. Plus, of course, if you have a mortgage on your property, you have to tell the mortgage provider. They might wish to switch you over to some other type of mortgage, a buy-to-let mortgage, for example, which might not be so advantageous. It might mean that your payments go up, etc. So you need to think of a way of making money online that requires minimal input from you. And the first thing that comes to mind is a membership site. And membership sites are very popular. And what you have is a membership site on a particular topic or niche. People pay a subscription and get access to information on the site. Now, it's not completely passive, as you do have to put in some work, but you don't have to sell it over and over again. Once people are subscribed, all you got to do is keep them subscribed. Now, your membership site could contain articles, videos, software downloads, etc. And there are a number of different membership site platforms that are out there that you can use to mount your membership site on. If you're going to base your membership site on a WordPress platform, there are a number of different plugins you can get. Some are free, some are paid for, others have a free version and a paid for version. Some good ones are Paid Membership Pro, which you can find out here at paidmembershipspro.com, or probably the most powerful one and the most popular one is S2 Member, and you can find out more here at s2member.com, or you can do a search from within the WordPress dashboard itself. Just come here to plugins, type in membership site, and you can see there are a lot of different ones that you can choose from. Whatever platform or format you choose, make sure your membership site has a forum. And this gives members a reason to keep coming back, and you can also use it to research what members would like to see more of on the site. There are lots of forum plugins that you can get for WordPress if you're going to use WordPress as your platform. And if you go to plugins and then do a search within the WordPress dashboard, you'll find that there are lots and lots of them. And it's a good idea to just simply go through and see which one's going to work best for you. Another thing you might consider is to make your entire membership site a forum. And this is done very well by the Warrior Forum. This is an internet marketing forum. And the way that they do it is you've got free and paid for memberships and various levels of payment memberships. And so you can have a discussion, you can go and read it for free. If you want to post something on there, you have to become a member. There are various levels of membership, like I said. You can also advertise on the site. And while I wouldn't recommend trying to duplicate the Warrior Forum in the internet marketing niche, because it is the probably the most popular site in the niche, this sort of business model could work very well in some other sort of niche. Another option is to become a website hosting reseller. Now, this is more passive than a membership site. And what you do is you get a reseller account from a hosting provider, and then you parcel up hosting accounts. And you can offer them as a standalone product, or, and this is probably the most common way of doing it, you can offer them as an upsell if you do website designs. You can have website design and it includes X amount of hosting, and then after that, people have to subscribe. And you'll find that people generally don't shop around for website hosting, so you can just simply start charging them after the free period has expired. Some popular sources of reseller hosting are HostGator. This is a US-based site, and you can read about it at hostgator.com/reseller-hosting. And Heart Internet. This is a UK-based site, and you can find out more at heartinternet.uk/reseller-hosting. Now, one tip for both membership sites and for website hosting reselling is to set up recurring payments. And that way you don't have to send out invoices or chase payment. And you can do this very simply in PayPal if you have a business account. One thing you could do is consider offering a discount if people pay quarterly or half yearly. So then your transaction charges do go down a bit that way. Something else that you can do to get a residual income is to sell your own digital products. You can sell things like ebooks, videos, or audio products. Now, you'll need to have quite a few different products in order to get a decent income, but it's something you can do in your spare time before you leave. And you can also outsource the creation to another freelancer. Some popular distribution sites for digital products are ClickBank, which you can find here at clickbank.com, and JVZoo, which you can find at jvzoo.com. You can also publish ebooks for the Kindle directly to Amazon, and you can find out more at kdp.amazon.com. And finally, you might also want to combine your text and videos, etc., into a course, and you can distribute those at Udemy, which is udemy.com. And of course, you can always turn your digital product into a physical one. And there are a number of sites which will enable you to do this. Some good sites for creating physical products are Lulu, which is lulu.com. And probably better is CreateSpace, which is an Amazon company. And you can create physical books, you can create DVDs, you can create CDs, all sorts of good stuff, and it automatically gets listed in Amazon.com, so you can get out to your audience very, very quickly indeed, and you can read more about it at createspace.com. And you can keep adding to these as you go along, and then you build up a passive income portfolio that requires very little attention, leaving you free to enjoy your travels. Your smartphone can be perhaps your most important tool after your laptop when you're traveling the world as a digital nomad. Now, there are lots and lots of different apps out there that can make your life much easier. Here are my top 10 in no particular order. And the first one is Uber. Now, Uber get a lot of bad press, but it's a great way of getting a ride at any time of the day or night for much less than hailing a cab. The app is free, and you can download the iOS version from the iTunes Store and the Android version from Google Play. Number 2 is Evernote. And Evernote turns your smartphone into a notepad, sketchpad, and a reminder. And you can share this information with others very quickly, so it's easy to share what's on your mind. And there are free and paid-for versions for both Android and iOS, and you can find out more at evernote.com. Number 3 is Airbnb. Now, finding somewhere to stay is the bane of every digital nomad's life, and this app makes it very easy indeed. There are versions for both iOS and Android, and you can also access the website from your laptop. And there are various versions of the website. I'm in the UK at the moment, so it's redirecting me to airbnb.co.uk, but elsewhere you can go to airbnb.com to find out more. Number 4 is XE Currency Exchange. While most online business is done in US dollars, there will be times when you need to change those into whatever currency the country you're in uses. Now, with this app, you can get live rates and see instantly if you're getting a good deal from the bank or bureau de change. It installs on a plethora of different devices, and you can find out more at www.xe.com/apps. Number 5 is Spotify. Leave your bulky CD collection behind and get all the latest tunes and old favorites streamed directly to your phone. And there are free and paid-for versions of Spotify, and it's worth upgrading as the adverts on the free version can be really annoying. It works on a number of different devices, and you can read more at spotify.com. A word of caution, though, it's not available in every country. Number 6 is Google Translate. Now, the accuracy isn't perfect, and it's mainly online based, although there is a favorites feature that caches the results for offline use. But Google Translate can be a lifesaver if you want to look up a word or phrase when you're out and about, and also to translate documents and things like that. And you can download it for free from Google Play. Number 7 is Skype. And this is the number one way to keep in touch with friends, family, and clients while you're away. Skype to Skype calls are free, and you can get a Skype in number in a city of your choice, so people can call you on a landline and have no idea that you're away. And you can find out more at skype.com. Number 8 is Google Maps. You don't have to bother carrying around a paper map or using a separate GPS device to find your way around anymore. And often, Google Map has many locations that Apple's map offering doesn't have yet, especially outside the major Western destinations. And it includes a lot of things like real-time traffic, bus timetables, and a whole lot more. And it's free for Android and iOS and can be downloaded from Google Play. Number 9 is Pocket, and this helps you to stay focused on your tasks. If you find an interesting article, you can save it for later and read it offline whenever and wherever you have time to. It also removes the annoying ads and just saves things in plain text. There are free and paid-for versions for iOS, Android, and Kobo, and you can also get a Windows version for your laptop. And you can find out more and download it from getpocket.com. And last, but by no means least, is Yelp. And this is a great app for finding restaurants and other businesses. It works best in the US, although it also has content for Canada, the UK, Australia, and parts of continental Europe. Just type in what you're looking for, and Yelp taps into your mobile device's GPS powers to tell you the closest places to find it. And it's a real time saver. And it's available for iOS and Android and can be downloaded from Google Play. So there we go, 10 apps that you can use to help you on the road. And there are a whole lot more out there, but this is just my top 10.